drifting through life in a haze, twisting and turning on herself as she tried in vain to cut through the fog that had engulfed her thoughts for years. Morrigan had worked a few different jobs after her research proposal had been rejected, but eventually a particularly rash decision to tell the truth to her employer coincided with a similar interaction involving her flatmate, leaving Morrigan back in her hometown, planning a new attack on the reality she had dreamed of. Her parents lived in a small, isolated village, which had perhaps contributed to their decision to spend the first years of their retirement traveling the world, in the way of teenagers who had just left home. So Morrigan spent most of her time alone, finding herself in the strange position where she had all the time she needed to do what she wanted, but she didn't really know what that was anymore. The village was remote, surrounded by tree-covered hills. Morrigan would always think about going on long, soul-searching walks, but rarely managed it. The romance of such an endeavour was usually quite different from the reality of midges, heavy rucksacks and a lack of bathroom facilities. So Morrigan tended to stick to short routes she had learnt as a child, when she would walk on Sunday mornings with her parents, before going to the village pub to eat a roast lunch and Knickerbocker glory. But even though the idea of preparing for a long walk was a hurdle she stumbled at, if something led her off her usual path, she would curiously follow. Which is what happened one morning in late autumn, a few months after Morrigan had moved back. Damp leaves covered the ground, and light grey cloud covered the sky. A shape padded out of the trees and stopped in the middle of the path. It was a cat. What it was doing in the forest she couldn't guess. They were far from any houses or farmyards. Morrigan knelt down, but it calmly avoided her touch and stalked back into the trees. Curiosity piqued, and happy to have a guide to something in her life, Morrigan followed. The cat moved knowledgeably through the forest, weaving in and out of the tree trunks, under and over the gnarled roots that burst out of the ground and dived back in all over the forest floor. Eventually it stopped. They had reached a fissure in the ground. The earth parted to leave two rocky faces covered in green moss. There was neither an obvious way down, nor an obvious reason to want to be there. The cat looked back at her and leapt gracefully down the mossy slope. Morrigan hesitated, but feeling ready for adventure, she smiled mischievously to herself and began to scramble her way down. Once at the bottom, the cat had already disappeared, so she walked forward on the floor of damp, springy undergrowth. Niggling thoughts began to enter her mind as to how on earth she would get out of here, but she held them back. The rocks began to close overhead, and the path continued, steadily heading downhill. But there was light still. Maybe there was another way out. Further into the tunnel, the light began to change colour. It didn't seem like the dull grey of outside anymore. Turning a corner, she realised why. The tunnel opened out into a huge cave. It domed overhead, and Morrigan held her breath involuntarily as she took in the scene. In the centre was the source of the light, an amorphous shape shifting and changing, many colours glittering and dancing, a mesmerising and beautiful thing. As she became absorbed in the sight before her, Morrigan heard a shout, which echoed aggressively around the vast space. Her body froze, her head whipped round to find the source of the anger. There was a moment of stillness, then ambling towards her with surprising speed and menace, she saw an old man, whose shouts continued to multiply as they bounced off the walls. Wires of shaggy grey hair framed a gaunt face, and he barreled forwards with a look of absolute fury, holding a large, sharpened rock above his head. waiting. It is ready. Can anyone translate for me? Give me a new perspective. I'm too close, I can't tell how my pieces fit together. My name will never be in lights. It won't need to be, but why does it keep pressing my mind? Why would it break? I can see the future. I can feel it in my bones. I feel it in my bones. Never face it directly. My name will never be in lights. It won't need to be, but why does it keep pressing my mind? started to back away, but before he could get to her, a familiar shape came bounding out of the darkness and leapt into her arms. She held the cat close, and the man stopped abruptly, his anger slowly subsiding to exhaustion. He sighed slightly and slumped, beckoning Morrigan to follow before turning to walk into the cave. She hesitated and considered simply running back through the tunnel, but if he followed, then he would certainly catch up before she could scramble out. And she was undeniably curious. What was this form in the room? She looked again at the swirling colours and light, then snapped her gaze away and hurried after the man. They walked around the edge of the cave and through a steep tunnel, which led back into the pale grey light of the forest. They were standing in front of a small stone building, surrounded by a thicket of young trees. He opened the door and nodded for her to follow. Still holding the cat close, Morrigan walked over and stood in the doorway. The room looked like a small makeshift bedsit. There was a fold-out bed, a sink, and a wooden desk covered in reams of used notepaper. On the wall were a selection of newspaper articles and several tattered black and white photographs. He gave Morrigan a cold stare, his small pupils boring into her eyes. She flinched nervously, and the cat jumped out of her arms, disappearing under the small camp bed. He turned away and slowly knelt down to pull out a metal box from under the bed. He unlocked it and delicately removed a battered green exercise book, like something Morrigan had used to take notes in at school, but it was with great reverence that he placed the book in her hands. Morrigan felt she should say something, but couldn't get any words past her lips. Before she could collect her thoughts, he gestured for her to leave and shut the door sharply behind her. After a brief glance back, Morrigan began to run. She kept running until she was out of the forest and could get her bearings. As she came back into the village, she was glad for the sight of other people, for normality. Sitting on a bench in the village square, she opened the exercise book. It was someone's journal. Looking on the inside cover, she saw written the name, Finn LaGrange.
You will not fool me.
Because we've agreed to it. We've agreed to it. Oh, it's wonderful, Arch. I couldn't imagine it all coming together like this. It's making sense. It really is, and well, I can't tell anyone, but I think I can prove it. I think I can do this for real. Just imagine the possibility. You stole my work. You won't get away with this. Or write it on a napkin to the same as doing the work. You left. You turned them all against me. We came up with this together. Yeah, and you didn't see it through. You pushed me off. You didn't stay. I would have stayed. I just knew I wasn't wanted. Not wanted, well. Okay, if you want to be involved, come to the experiment. The experiment? Yes. The experiment. What experiment? How the hell have you convinced them to do that? You can't have told them.
There's no easy way to tell you, the Grange. The funding's been cut. Of course I put your proposal to them. They just weren't interested. The budget won't cover it. It's too experimental. The odds are it won't work anyway, and they can't justify the costs. No, that's it. They're going to repurpose the labs. We've got until the end of the month. You know as well as I do that this was on the cards. Come on, Lagrange. I know you're frustrated, but my hands are tied.
I'm not going to tell them. So you're doing this by yourself? Really? You think they won't find out? Arch, they've cancelled my funding. I don't know, but someone's been through my office as well. I know, things are missing. Something's up. I'm leaving tonight. But I don't care. Someone tried to attack me near the train station. Nope, I'm fine. They've been following me for a while. I was already a bit suspicious. They threatened me. It's to do with my work. I need to get out. I need to get out. I told Audax by accident. Oh, well, he was winding me up. What could I do? I know it's stupid. I didn't think he was that cruel. We only see this world because we've agreed to it. There is a consciousness in the universe. Before even time existed as we know it, this consciousness started to decide how a reality should be formed. There were many possibilities, so they all came into being alongside each other. In some, creatures evolved, vessels ever more well-adjusted to activating the consciousness. These realities became more solid, more vibrant. Consciousness was attracted to the realities with more thoughts, more activities, more progress. Those with less promise were left to flounder, and eventually However, our reality is not the only one to have survived. Thousands of years ago, the realities reached a stable equilibrium between a few worlds. We don't know exactly how many. Some similar to ours in many ways, some so different we could never truly conceive of it. The more beings are born into one, the stronger it becomes. A creature can only conceive of thinking really in one way. This is all it's ever exposed to. It's like thinking of life with an extra dimension. You can understand the mathematics, you can't truly conceive of it. The more people in one reality, the faster time flows. Thoughts accelerate the flow of time. We have inputs and we have memories. Through the medium of the consciousness, we put them together to create thoughts. Thoughts keep time flowing. Without other thoughts in agreement with it, time will slow to a crawl, relative to a reality that is full of life. The consciousness gathers where it can facilitate the largest number of thoughts. People are stories being written, and our reality is the result of billions of stories. It will only keep going if the story keeps being written.
Silence flows with the creak of the door.
In the following weeks, Morrigan didn't go back to the forest. She began to spend time in the library and the village tea rooms. Enjoying the company of others made her feel safe. Maybe she could just forget the whole thing. It wouldn't be the first time she'd earnestly entertained the ramblings of someone who didn't even believe themselves. But what had she seen in the cave? It was like nothing she'd ever experienced. The lights and the colours, they kept going round and round in her mind. She could always see them. And the writings in the exercise book. She would pore over them, reading, rereading, trying to understand. They were real. Finn LaGrange was a physicist. She developed a theory of other realities and she thought she could test it. She had tested it. Morrigan resolved to put the notebook to one side until one cold, bright morning, exactly 4 months after she'd gone into the forest. She was about to leave the house when a letter fell onto the doormat. It was addressed to her. She opened the envelope, unfolded the paper, and began to read. It was from a solicitor. A man called Parvis Audax had died and left land to her. A piece of land in the forest.